Hello everyone, I am Dr. Shiv Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Wildlife Sciences, Aligarh Muslim University. Water is life-sustaining element on Earth, but its human-led contamination with harmful substances make it unfit for use. So it is necessary to understand the issue of water pollution and to take corrective measures. In this lecture, I shall be discussing the causes of water pollution, its impacts, and how we can prevent the water pollution. Let's understand first what is water pollution. Contamination of water sources such as rivers, lakes, groundwater, oceans, reservoirs through human activities that make it unfit for use is known as water pollution. Water pollution is putting our health at risk. Use of polluted water kills more people each year than war and all other forms of violences combined. It is a major global problem as large number of nations are adversely affected by water pollution. Types of water pollution. Depending on the source of pollution, water pollution can be divided into two categories: point source pollution and non-point source pollution. When pollutants enter in water sources from definite place and source can be readily identified, it is known as point source pollution, such as industrial discharge and municipal waste. When pollutants enter into water from an unidentifiable place, such as acid rains, agriculture runoff, it is known as non-point source pollution. Various human activities are causing water pollution. For example, discharge of untreated factory discharge in our water bodies, mixing of sewage and bathing animals in rivers and ponds are causing water pollution. Harmful substances causing water pollution are called water pollutants. Every year, every day, we are adding various kind of pollutant in our water bodies. The major water pollutants include pesticides, insecticides, fertilizers, bacteria, protozoa, viruses, parasites, nitrates, phosphates, pharmaceuticals, fecal waste, chemicals from personal care products, plastic and radioactive substances. Types of water pollutants. The common pollutants can be divided into several classes. Disease causing pollutants or pathogens. Substances that affect human or animals by causing diseases or physical damage, they are known as the disease causing pollutants. It includes bacteria, viruses, protozoa, parasite worms, and they enter water sources from untreated medical waste, domestic sewage, and untreated human and animal waste, etc. Oxygen depleting pollutants. Substances that decrease the oxygen content of water and includes organic wastes that can be decomposed by aerobic bacteria. Large population of bacteria use up the oxygen present in water to degrade these wastes, which leads to degradation of water quality. If too much organic matter is added to the water, all the available oxygen is used up. This causes fish and other forms of oxygen dependent aquatic life to die. Thus, anaerobic bacteria, those that do not require oxygen, begin to break down the wastes. Their anaerobic respiration produces chemicals that have a foul odor and an unpleasant taste that is harmful to human health. Inorganic plant nutrients. It includes water-soluble nitrates and phosphates that causes excessive growth of algae and other aquatic plant. The excessive growth of algae and aquatic plants due to added nutrients is called eutrophication. They may interfere with the use of the water by clogging water intake pipes, changing the taste and odor of water, and cause buildup of organic matter. As the organic matter decay, oxygen level decrease and fish and other aquatic species die. Solid waste. It includes solid waste such as plastic bottles, garbage, rubbish, trash, electronic waste, construction, and the demolition waste. Toxic waste. It includes waste which are carcinogenic, poisonous, radioactive, explosive, mutagenic, tetragenic, or bioaccumulative. They are reaching in water from various sources such as industries, chemical processing factories, agriculture fields, and green spaces in urban areas. Sediments. It includes silts produced because of soil erosion or construction or demolition of buildings and carried to the water bodies by surface runoff. Such suspended sediments affect penetration of sunlight in water and disturb the ecological balance of aquatic ecosystem. It can also adversely affect the reproductive success of aquatic fauna, and on setting down, it can smoother bottom dwelling organism. Heat. It includes the increase in the water temperature beyond the permissible level because of discharge of hot water from power plants, etc. to the water bodies. It reduces the oxygen holding capacity of water and have negative impact on the aquatic organism. Oils include reaching of petroleum from surface runoff from roads or the accidental spill over in the water bodies. Sources of water pollution. There are various sources of water pollution. Some of the major causes or the sources of water pollution are industrial discharge, agriculture runoff, discharge of sewage and domestic water, oil spills, improper waste disposal, mining activities, burning of fossil fuels, global warming and climate change, leakage from storage structure, etc. Let's discuss them one by one. Industrial discharges. It is one of the leading source of water pollution as it is adding various kind of pollutant in large quantity in our water sources. Factories and industries discharge many harmful chemicals and waste products directly into water bodies or indirectly through drainage systems. The industrial sites without the proper waste disposal system end up adding harmful substances in our water sources. The major pollutants include heavy metals such as lead, mercury, cadmium, and chromium, plastics, pesticides, herbicides, chemicals, radioactive elements, oil, heat, and other poisonous substances. The release of hot water from power plants and industries is a common cause of water pollution and affecting the quality of the water. Agriculture runoff. Over last few decades, there is a large scale intensification of agriculture in various parts of the world. To enhance the productivity and to protect the agriculture crops from pests or insects, farmers are using fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides, and herbicides in many crops in heavy quantities or sometimes more than what is prescribed by the agriculture scientist. The agriculture runoff leads to discharge of these chemicals, sediments, and saline drainage into the water bodies and cause water pollution. Excess availability of fertilizers in water bodies cause eutrophication and algal bloom and interfere with the ecological functioning of aquatic ecosystem. Pesticides, insecticides, herbicides can cause bioaccumulation in the food chain and can have adverse impact not only aquatic species but also on those terrestrial species which depend on aquatic species for food. One of the popular example of bioaccumulation is the effect of DDT on terrestrial bird species. Discharge of sewage and domestic water. Sewage and wastewater that contain many pollutants such as human waste, chemicals from products, and pharmaceuticals. These pollutants reach the water bodies and degrade the air, degrade the quality of water. Contamination of water bodies with untreated sewage wastewater causes various diseases and is one of the potential source of water pollution. According to United Nations, more than 80% of sewage reaches to our water bodies untreated and causing water pollution and various diseases to the people. Oil spills. Oil spills from the ships, tankers, and offshore drilling platforms create a layer on water surface and adversely affect flora and fauna of aquatic ecosystems. In addition to this, leakage from underground tanks and runoff from the streets are leading to significant amount of oil in water resources. Runoff from urban centers, improper discharge of lubricating oil from the machines or automobile crankcases, and unintentional oil discharges that occur during the loading. As oil spills are localized, they can severely contaminate beaches and sediments and can have severe impact on wildlife and ecosystems. Improper waste disposal. Improper waste disposal practices such as dumping of solid waste and hazardous waste in water bodies can lead to water pollution. The pollutant reaching in water bodies are plastic, heavy metals, disease-causing agents, and harmful chemicals. The addition of these harmful substances leads to toxicity and even death of aquatic life or the disbalance of the aquatic ecosystems. Mining activities. Mining activities cause water pollution through direct discharge of mined water in water bodies and through erosion and runoff from the mining sites and waste dump sites. Various pollutants reaching water bodies due to mining activities include toxic substances, heavy metals, acids, alkanins, and the sediments. Burning of fossil fuels. Burning of fossil fuels release significant amount of toxic chemicals and ash. On combination with water vapors present in the atmosphere, these leads to acid rain. The acid rain contaminated our water bodies and cause water pollution. Global warming and climate change. The global warming and climate change can also degrade the quality of water through increasing the temperature, change in flow of water, and increasing runoff of nutrients. Increase in the temperature and other parameters of the water leads to the unbalancing of the delicate balance of the aquatic ecosystems. Leakage from storage structures. Some of the major causes of groundwater pollution includes industrial waste stores located above or near aquifers, leakage from underground storage tanks containing gasoline and other hazardous substances, leachate from landfills, poorly designed and inadequately maintained septic tanks, and mining wastes. Effect of water pollution. Water pollution can have adverse effect on atmosphere, plant and animal. Some of the major effects of water pollution are as follows. Depletion of potable water. Human population continues to grow at an alarming rate, leading to increase in the demand of potable water in the future. Unfortunately, contamination of our lakes, reservoirs, and other waterways means there's a decreased amount of potable water for us. It leads to a scarcity of water and conflict between the people, states, and the nation. And ultimately, it leads to degradation of human life. Academics believe that disputes over water would be a source of future wars. Occurrence of diseases. Water pollution is having impact on human health and causing many diseases. Lack of sufficient safe water will force people to consume water from unsafe sources of drinking water. This is especially true in impoverished parts of the world such as Africa, Asia, and Latin America. As per United Nations estimates, around 1 in 3 people do not have access to clean water. This means the waterborne diseases such as cholera, dysentery, and typhoid are prevalent in such locations, causing an untold number of premature deaths. According to United Nations, diarrheal diseases linked to lack of hygiene cause the death of about 1,000 children a day worldwide. Destruction of biodiversity. Marine ecosystems are also threatened by marine debris, which can strangle, suffocate, and starve animals. Much of this solid debris, such as plastic, bags, and soda cans, get swept into sewer and storm drains and eventually out to sea, turning out ocean into trash, soup, and sometimes consolidating to form floating garbage patches. Discarded fishing gears and other types of debris are responsible for harming more than 200 different species of marine species. Ocean acidification is making it tougher for shellfish and coral to survive. Though they absorb about a quarter of the carbon pollution created each year by burning fossil fuels, oceans are becoming more acidic. This process makes it harder for shellfish and other species to build shell and may impact the nervous system of sharks, clownfish, and other marine life. Degradation in quality of aquatic habitat leads to decrease in the reproductive success of the aquatic species and increasing their vulnerability to extinction. So, water pollution is leading to the destruction of the aquatic biodiversity. Eutrophication. Agriculture fertilizers and pesticides contain high level of ammonia and phosphorus. However, these nutrients can find their way into streams, lakes, and other water channels through runoff, thus unbalancing the delicate aquatic ecosystem. Accumulation of nutrients in water bodies result in an increased growth of simple plant that may deplete oxygen in water. This process is known as eutrophication. When water pollution causes an algal bloom in water body, the proliferation of newly introduced nutrients stimulate plant and algae growth, which in turn reduce oxygen level in water. This deficiency of oxygen suffocate plants and animals and create dead zones where water are essentially devoid of any life. In certain cases, these harmful algal bloom can also produce neurotoxins that affect wildlife from whale to sea turtles. Collapse of food chain. When water pollution leads to death of certain species, that can have a knock-on effect on predators which feed upon them, thus causing shock waves further up the food chain. Meanwhile, consumption and absorption of polluted water by marine and aquatic organisms is capable of causing damage to their internal organs. Pollutants are toxic to aquatic life, most often reducing an organism's lifespan and ability to reproduce and make them their way up the food chain as predator eats prey. When they are later consumed by the larger species, the food chain can become compromised and contaminated, eventually affecting the humans indirectly. That's how tuna and other big fish accumulate high quantities of toxins such as mercury and are not fit for human consumption. Reduction in agriculture productivity. Farming uses as much as 70% of the earth's water. If that water becomes contaminated, there are fewer reserves available to cultivate crop and sustain livestock, thus contributing to reduced yield and poor quality crops. Meanwhile, the plants and animals which are reared using contaminated water are not fit for human consumption, again indirectly contributing to a negative impact on human health. Economic impacts. The effect of water pollution are not just related to human and environmental health. Contaminated water supplies must go through a rigorous treatment process before they can become potable or suitable for irrigation, washing, or swimming in. This leads to financial investment for establishing the water treatment plant and putting pressure on financial resources which can be utilized for other developmental purposes. Meanwhile, another economic impact endangered by the water pollution is the loss of revenue experienced by the tourism industries in certain part of the world due to abundance of polluted water bodies by tourists. For example, Dal Lake in Srinagar is an important source of income for local people. If water pollution leads to decrease in tourists to the area, it will have huge negative impact on the economy of the area. Measures to control water pollution. While prevention is better than cure, by implementing measures to control water, we can reduce the severity of water pollution. In this section, I shall discuss some of the ways to control water pollution. Measures to control water pollution can be implemented at community level and at personal level. So let's discuss first the measures which can be implemented at community level. Sanitation and sewage treatment. Municipal wastewater can be treated by centralized sewage treatment plants, decentralized wastewater systems, nature-based solution, or in on-site sewage facilities and septic tanks. For example, waste stabilization ponds are a low-cost treatment option for sewage, particularly for regions with warm climates. Ultraviolet light can be used to degrade some pollutant in waste stabilization pond. Effective implementation of these measures of sanitation and sewage treatment can help in controlling contamination of our water sources. Industrial wastewater treatment. Industrial wastewater treatment includes various processes used for treating wastewater that is produced by industries as an undesirable byproduct. After treatment, the treated industrial wastewater known as effluent may be used or released to a sanitary sewer or to surface water in the environment. Some industrial facilities generate wastewater that can be treated in sewage treatment plants. Industries such as petroleum refineries, chemical and petrochemical plants should have their own specialized facilities to treat their wastewater so that the pollutant concentration in the treated wastewater comply with the regulation regarding disposal of wastewater into sewers or into rivers, lakes or ocean. This applied to industries that generate wastewater with high concentration of organic matter like oil and greases, toxic pollutants like heavy metals, volatile organic compounds, or nutrients such as ammonia. Management of erosion and sediment control. Sediment from construction sites can be managed by installation of erosion control such as mulching and hydroseeding, and sediment control such as sediment basins and silt fences. Erosion caused by deforestation and changes in hydrology are also result in loss of sediments and potentially lead to water pollution. Plantation of trees help in preventing the soil erosion and therefore can help in the controlling of the water pollution. Control of urban runoff. Effective control of urban runoff involves reducing the velocity and flow of storm water as well as reducing pollutant discharge. Local government should use various storm water management techniques to reduce the effect of urban runoff. Establishment of natural based water treatment facilities. A new technology called the root zone process has been developed. This system involves running contaminated water through the root zone of specially designed reed beds. The reeds, which are especially peatland plant, have the capacity to absorb oxygen from the surrounding air through their stomatal openings. The oxygen is pushed through the porous stem of the reeds into the hollow roots where it enters the root zones and create conditions suitable for the growth of numerous bacteria and fungi. These microorganisms oxidize impurities in the wastewater so that the water which finally comes out is clean. Take the example of facility established by the Neil Hodge Biodiversity Park, Delhi. The established facility is using interaction between sediment, sandbed, root zone and water in pores, litter, water, air, plant and plant roots, biomass zones such as bacteria growing in sand and attached to the roots. A mosaic of sites with different oxygen level exists in constructed wetland, which triggers diverse degradation and removed the various pollutant present in the polluted water. The constructed wetland convert 1 billion liters of sewage water per day into clean water comparable to tap water. At individual level, everyone understands that clean water is very important. Yet many things we do that leads to water pollution in different ways. We can help in preventing water pollution by adopting some easy and inexpensive ways in our daily habits. For example, do not pour oil from cooking or any other type of fat, oil or grease down the sink. Keep a oil jar under the sink to collect the fat and discard it in the solid waste when full. Do not dispose household chemicals or cleaning agents down the sink or toilet. Do not flush pills, liquid or powder, medication or drugs down the toilet. Avoid using the toilet as a waste basket. Most tissues, wrappers, dust clothes and other paper goods should be properly discarded in a waste basket. The fiber reinforced cleaning products that have become popular should never be discarded in the toilet. Avoid using a garbage disposal. Keep solid waste solid. Make a compost pile from vegetable scraps. Install a water efficient toilet. Run the washing machine only when you have a full load. This conserves electricity and water. Use the minimum amount of detergent and or bleach when you are washing clothes or dishes. Use only phosphate-free soaps and detergents. Minimize the uses of pesticides, herbicides, fertilizers in agriculture. Do not dispose of these chemicals like motor oil or the other automobile fluids into the sanitary sewer or storm sewer systems. Both of them end at the river. Minimize the utilization of personal care products such as sunscreen and other beauty cream, as finally they are reaching in our water bodies. Do not throw garbage and fishing net in water bodies. Plant trees as much as possible. Support people working for water conservation. Participate in cleaning of your local water bodies and create awareness among others about the various ways which can help in the prevention and control of the water pollution. Thank you, with the hope that you adopt the measures to control the water pollution.